Welcome to this video on using Cloud Volume service levels. Let's start by looking at what each service level provides and what they cost. From cloud.netapp.com we can see the Cloud Volume service provides standard, premium and extreme service levels. Standard provides 16 megabytes a second per terabyte allocated and costs 10 cents per gigabyte per month. Premium gives us 64 megabytes per second per terabyte allocated and costs 20 cents per gigabyte per month, and Extreme provides 128 megabytes a second per terabyte and costs 30 cents per gigabyte per month. Changing service levels is very easy through the user interface, and so is changing the allocated capacity. Here we're going to change the allocated capacity from 10 terabytes to 20 terabytes, and therefore that will double our performance. This change happens within seconds. We can also change the service level, choosing from standard, premium or extreme, and again that change happens within seconds. So now we've allocated 20 terabytes at the extreme service level. Changing service levels is also easy through APIs, but let's take a look at the documentation to see and learn how to do that. The document tells us how to find our keys and the URL endpoints, explains what we can do with RESTful APIs, and provides some examples for tests such as listing volumes, showing volume details, updating a volume, which we'll focus on in this video. The doc also shows us how to delete volumes, how to take a snapshot, how to clone a volume from a snapshot, and then how to delete volumes and snapshots. We can see how we can get our API keys. And in this demonstration, we're going to change service levels and allocate capacity using a simple bash script. We pass it an argument to change allocated capacity and service levels. Here I'm going to change the allocated capacity to 40 terabytes, and I'm going to change from the premium to the extreme service level. Within seconds, we see that the change has been accepted. And within a few more seconds, we'll see the user interface is updated to reflect that change. Let's see how we can non-disruptively change service level and allocation. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to run a benchmark called FIO from a EC2 instance, and it's mounted a cloud volume. The benchmark starts to run, and we see that we're getting about 160 megabytes a second. And when we take a look at the allocation for the volume and the performance level, we see it's at standard, and we've allocated 10 terabytes. So that's basically 16 megabytes a second multiplied by 10. That gives us our 160. So now we're going to change the performance to extreme and allocate 20 terabytes, and that will give us a performance of about 2.5 gigabytes a second. And we see that we're achieving over 2 gigabytes. Now we can very easily reduce the performance once we don't need it. Here I'm going to go back down to standard, but I'm going to keep the allocation at 20 terabytes. And now we should see we get 320 megabytes a second. So 16 times 20. And indeed, we're seeing about 320 megabytes a second. So using these APIs, we can write some simple scripts. This script would increase the performance to extreme and allocate 20 terabytes, then run our job, and then when it's finished, it will lower the performance back down. So once the job's finished, we will lower the cost, and therefore we can really improve the cost efficiency. We can also schedule changes using standard Linux tools like cron. Here we're going to increase the performance to extreme, allocate 20 terabytes at 8 a.m. every Thursday, and then at 10 p.m. every Thursday, we will decrease the performance back down to standard and reduce the allocation back to 10 terabytes. And this could be very useful for something like running payroll, a high-performance database. So let's take a look at the cost savings from the previous example. So by using the extreme service only when we needed it, we could reduce our monthly cost by over 75%. In this demonstration, we've learned the performance and price of service levels, how to change service levels and allocation by user interface and API, that we can non-disruptively change performance, how to use APIs to script and schedule changes, and how to use that to save costs by only paying for the performance when we need it. Thank you for watching, and to learn more, please go to cloud.netapp.com.